Welcome back. Futures are higher ahead of the opening of markets this morning, about 35 minutes away. We're expecting the gain of about 400 points right out of the gate, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average Futures right now up 395. That's 1 2/3%. The S&P is up 41, 1.5%. And the Nasdaq's up 92 points, better than 1%. It has been a busy morning for earnings, certainly, and there is plenty more to come this afternoon. Companies reporting later today include Alphabet, Ford, Starbucks, Mondelez International, and Advanced Micro Devices. John Hilsenrath, your expectations for the first quarter? I guess we're pretty much hearing about the COVID-19 impact across the board.
Yeah, I think all the action today is going to be in these conference calls that companies have after they report their numbers, where they talk about how they're responding and how they see the outlook playing out in the months ahead. You know, the other thing that I'm looking out for, Maria, is we saw last week all this backlash building against different companies and individuals taking government money. You know, Sir Richard Branson, there's an online petition to take away his knighthood because he was looking for a bailout in the UK. I think there's a lot of that brewing, and it'll be interesting to hear how these CEOs manage that kind of feedback that they get on these conference calls.
Yeah, I mean, we needed a little more clarity, I think, in terms of who gets what, and the community banks, as you've been saying, Dagan, those smaller banks really needed the money because that's where Main Street banks. What about those auto earnings this morning, Dagan? Because the auto sector wants to fire up those production lines in about 2 weeks.
Right. The target date for the Detroit car makers to reopen U.S. facilities, this would be all U.S. plants, is May 18th. And that's despite even in states where stay-at-home orders are lifting sooner. The Detroit 3 want to give their suppliers time to kind of ramp up. And also, they've still got to finalize some safety protocols with the United Auto Workers Union. But on Ford reporting today, and General Motors, GM and Ford have both suspended their dividends. More than 200 companies have suspended, eliminated, or cut the dividends. That is the fastest pace since 2009, the Journal reporting that. But GM and Ford have both tapped credit lines of more than $15 billion, Ford raising an additional $8 billion in debt. From Ford, we want to know more about, again, it's how solid its balance sheet is, which you've been talking about, and also with Ford, what kind of sales have they been doing? Because the dealers have still been moving vehicles, albeit at a slow pace.
A lot more business online, that's for sure. Mattie, what are you watching?
Well, big week for earnings, but also a big week for data. Tomorrow we get the first print on Q1 GDP growth. People, of course, will be watching that to see just how much of a dip the economy took as a result of coronavirus. And then Friday, it's another jobs day. We saw some of the employment numbers start to weaken last month, but this month I think we'll certainly see some of those unemployment claims ticking up and the unemployment number going up as well. So keep an eye on unemployment claims as well. Continued unemployment, that will be an indicator as to whether or not the PPP loans and other efforts the government is making are having an effect and are stymieing the economic consequences of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah, we're all zeroing in on Thursday's big number, the unemployment claims coming out 8:30 a.m. on Thursday. 26 million Americans have already filed for those unemployment benefits, so that's going to be a big day. And, of course, the Labor Department's report on unemployment next Friday, May 8th, on the unemployment numbers for the last month. Quick break, and then more Mornings with Maria right here. Stay with us.